Greetings, hatchlings! This is I, dragoninahuman, and once again I'm playing the Beast Direwolf20 pack. And the version of the pack currently is 5.2.1, just so you know what version it is. And once again, I've been doing a lot of stuff, and the reason why it's been quite a while since I did the last episode is just simply because, well, all my work, I work stuff, and a lot of the staff on my work are on vacation right now, so I have to do a lot more because, they're on vacation. Eventually I'll have vacation, but not right now, so I've been tired, so I didn't feel like recording, stuff, and pretty much an unwritten YouTube rule is that if you don't feel like recording, just don't record, because, you won't feel as, good and stuff, and I'm just loading the chunks up right here if you're wondering what I'm doing. So now you already noticed that. This massive box here, and this stuff, and all this system. And before I'll explain to you what this is, I also proceeded with these a lot. This stuff keeps on running. Now what I did with this here is, that this one blaze rods go in here and stuff, and I removed the machines right here and I put them right there. What I did with this one is I pre-formatted it. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's very simple. Here we have the pre-formatter. Now, I don't really think that I need to actually show you the recipes, really, because you can just look up the name yourself, and you just you can look up the recipe yourself. So, you could do that. Now, again, with this thing, you can pre-format the let's see, where is it? You can pre-format these things. Now, what that's good for is, currently this thing is set so that, in this thing, it will only accept blaze rods. So when you use a pre-formatter, you just take an item and place it in there, and then it will use a ghost image, and then you can give it a name. You don't really need to, but you can. And then when you have the items in here that you want, you can click pre-format, or format actually, and that will pre-format it. And what this does is, whatever items you put in here, those will be the only items that are allowed to go into this thing. So if any other item tries to go in, it won't allow it. It will just try to send it somewhere else if it can. And otherwise, just nothing will happen. So pre-formatting these things can be very useful if you, for example, with this blaze rod thing, you only wanted to accept blaze rods, because now that I moved the machines over there, and the chest more particularly, whenever this thing crafts items, the items actually go into this thing, it will craft things, and then it will go, the remaining items will go back into the chest. But since this chest is closer by, it will dump all the items in there, which is not the idea, because this one's only meant for blaze rods. So that's why I pre-formatted it, so that only blaze rods will go in here, and any other items will just have to travel to that chest. Now there's an ME cable going underneath of this, so it's still attached, but just a different cable. And the control thing is still here. It's just that the wire goes underneath of this all. So yeah, that's the pre-formatter. Also, I've learned more things into this. One of the things is, I learned how to make a timer. Now, I have sort of noticed a sort of duplication glitchy thingy. For example, in an earlier episode, I told it to make an MFSU. And to make an MFSU, you need 10 diamonds in total. You need to make an MFE, which requires 4 diamonds for the energy crystals. And for an MFSU, you need 6 extra diamonds, so you need 10 diamonds in total. Now, I had one energy crystal and 2 Lapatron crystals, and I put in 7 extra diamonds. But it didn't use up the Lapatron crystals, so it just made me an MFSU for 8 diamonds, which is sort of weird. And it does this with other recipes as well. Sometimes you just for example, with minium stone, it needs 8 shards of minium. Now one time I put in I just told it to make a minium stone, and I put in 8 shards of minium, but it only used 6 of them, so that's something for the mod maker to work out. Now what I did here is, well, I placed this MFSU here. The MFSU will turn the voltage into medium voltage, with a medium voltage transformer, and a low voltage transformer, and the low voltage will travel across this line here into an MFE that is somewhere around here, and then the MFE will have a low voltage transformer, and that will go into here, into these compressors with it. They all have overclocker upgrades. This is an item tesseract. Item tesseract, which is this unattended tesseract, which I already showed you how to make. Tin, silver, tin again, and a kinetic servo. So that's how you make that. And the idea is the same. This one only sends, and there's one over here, which only receives. So what this thing does is it will harvest the sugarcane, get turned into plant balls. Plant balls go into there. This is a transposer. Let's see. I already showed you how to make these, but still, transposer. This. Here's a timer. They're just really annoying to make. Timer. Like you'll just need to look up the recipe for this yourself because they are fairly annoying to make. That's why I learned the machine how to make it. So you can look up the recipes yourself. So railway wire. This timer. If you want a transposer to work at the max speed, this is the max speed that it will properly work at. Like if I turn this any lower, then apparently it's working now. But it used to be like. If I put it like at this speed, it would sometimes like skip. Let's see what happens when I do it even lower. Yeah, you can see it just stops because it's sticking too fast, so it just stops. So when you put it a bit higher, what happened to me before was like it would get stuck and it would skip sometimes. But when I put it to this speed, it pretty much just always pulls out an item. So yeah. Now these kinetic pipes, it will put it into the closest bike compressor. But for example, if the diamond chest, if for some reason I turned that transposer off and I made it build up on these plant balls, if this thing gets full, it will start putting the plant balls into the compressor set aside, so it will never really overflow. And the fun thing with kinetic pipes is that if all the inventories that it can be put in are full, it will just like go back and it will go back in there, so it won't actually overflow. So that's cool about kinetic pipes. Now the item tesseract, I'll put the items right here, and it will put them in this chest. And here I have a storage, as you can see, that's a lot of compressed plants, because you know that thing just keeps on running non-stop. So yeah, this transposer here sucks it out one by one, and we'll put it into the top of these fermenters. Yeah, so like it will put them in the top. Only actually the fermenters turn the compressed plant balls into biomass so fast that, oh, there's someone talking in the background. It will turn it into biomass so fast, and actually this one thing is actually not keeping up, but whatever. Now for the setup that I have right here, you will need to cover a minimum of 5 sides of the fermenter. Now the top side will be the compressed plants. Just the compressed plants go in the top. The bottom side will be mulch. There's a filter on the bottom here. This filter will only suck out mulch, and it will put in mulch whenever it needs. That's why I don't actually have an automated mulch production, because it uses mulch a lot less often than this. Now this here is a restriction tube, I believe. It's just a kinetic tube with iron ingot, one iron ingot, and this will make it so that the plant balls will only go into here. And if all of these fermenters are for some reason are full, then it will allow the items to travel through the restriction tube, and it will put it into here. Now if it does for some reason overflow, this filter is set so like once there are 16 compressed plants into this chest, it will suck them out and put them in there. It's pretty cool about the filters. You can like make it pull out complete stacks. Like if I put in a stack, it will wait until there's a full stack of compressed plants and then pull it out. So that's pretty cool. Now also these things, so like the bottom side is mulch, the top side is plant balls, and then the sides here are for the energy, and this side here is for water, and this side here is for pulling out the biomass. And then here's an iron tank. Also I built another iron tank, which is also filling up. It's directly below, and it doesn't actually have these couch things in it because it doesn't actually need that. Now, because these two are already filling up, I made this box. Now, what this is it's 12 by 12 by 12, and if you paid a little bit of attention, I pointed in the direction of which way I was going. The inside is hollow, and the walls like this need to be glass, glowstone, or iron viewer. Now, let's see. Let's see, where is it? It's a sidecraft item. There. Now glass viewer, fair enough. So that's just 8 glass with an iron ingot. They look pretty cool, but you don't need to use them. But I do think that you don't need silk touch. Like if you place this down, you can just mine it up with a regular pickaxe or with a power tool, for all it matters, and you can just get it back without actually having to use silk touch. I put some torches in there because I didn't want mobs to start spawning in it. Now what this will be is, this will be a Zycraft tank. And this size, this is the maximum size that you can make for a Zycraft tank. I put it 3 blocks away from the edge here and here, and for some reason apparently I had 3 blocks of space right here, so that's a funny coincidence. So this will carry the exact same amount of liquid as these 8 tanks. Now this is obviously a lot cheaper to make, but it will cost like 1 row of blocks extra. So for example these tanks, and it will also cost this row of blocks, and that row of blocks, and it's 1 block higher. And yeah, that it's slightly bigger. This thing is a lot cheaper than the iron tanks like this. And yeah, it's if you really need a massive storage and you have like pretty much infinite resources like me, you can make like a whole ton of these iron tanks and just spread them all over, and you'll get like the maximum storage space. I also noticed that if you make these tanks bigger, that's not actually more efficient, because if you make it like twice the size on the inside, it won't actually contain twice the amount of liquid and stuff. So that's a bit weird. So yeah, Zycraft tank. Now to actually make it to a Zycraft tank, I have a whole lot of recipes here. Yeah. So for a Zycraft tank or Zycraft valve. Oh, dang it. Valve. Hey, valve. So you need a valve. You need engineering bricks, which I have the recipe for. Then you need it. So engineering bricks. You need it any color. It doesn't need to be red. But how you get this stuff is you just melt Zychromium, which is just mine, really. I just use red because, I don't know. Then you need 1 redstone and a stone brick. It doesn't matter what type of stone brick, cracked stone brick, mossy stone brick, it all works. So, but this stuff also has a 64x64 texture. And these things may look really cool, but here's my warning. If you plan on building with this, the blocks actually themselves, if you look on the corners, they are animated. And it will actually count the entire block as 64x64. It will count the entire block as animated. So if you use a lot of these Zycraft blocks, it's not necessarily the engineering block, but all these Zycraft blocks, they are animated. So if you place down a lot of them, like if you build massive structures out of them, it will actually lag you if you don't have a proper computer. Like one time I made a basement out of it, which had like, I don't know, like 5 stacks of it or something, and I actually noticed like you know, the frames were lowering a little bit. Now I have a good computer, so it wasn't actually bad, but yeah, I got a slight lowering in frames per second. So you need these, to get back to the topic, you need these engineering bricks. It doesn't matter what color, again. Then you get like iron bars and a bucket in the middle, and you'll get 4 valves. And yeah, it allows liquids to pass through. Then what you do is, well, first off, you need to hollow this thing out. So these torches are nice. I just placed them here so mobs wouldn't spawn. There are also like stuff underneath of this, but alright, so let's see. Where will I actually have the opening? I think I will have the opening right here. Place a valve in, and then I believe when I right click on it, there we go. Now this is a Zycraft tank. Now you can see that by like this little weird, these little tiny lines. Now, you know, as I just did, I just placed the valve in. And then what you need to do, I believe with the empty hand, even with the valve in your hand, you just need to right click it, and then you'll get this weird pattern on it. And then when you right click the tank, you will see the amount of space in it. So it's a multi-tank. And yeah, this will carry this much liquid. This is the exact same amount of all these iron tanks. But it's a lot cheaper. You can use glass or glass viewers, which I just showed you. As long as it's like a sort of transparent-ish block. So glowstone will work because it's not actually counted as a solid block. Pretty much any solid block that you can be in without suffocating, you can use as the walls, but you need to use them as the walls. You can't actually use this cobblestone, because if I were to place cobblestone where the glass is, it won't actually work. So yeah. So this is the largest size of multi-tank. I believe that the largest size of iron tank is somewhere over 10 by 10 by 11 or something. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't carry nearly as much as liquid as this one. So obviously I'll need some place to like get the stuff out. I don't really care about the glass, honestly. Oh, sort of annoying, but okay. Doesn't really matter where I put this actually, but oh, Alt Shift, there we go. It will still count as a tank, so okay. So I guess I will just pop, and then glass is gone. Put another valve in, right click, and now there's a valve in it. So the top one is input, this one is output. So let's see. I could just swap this stuff around, or I could make it so that all the liquid actually pumps in there. I'll probably do that. Not right now though. So yeah, this will be in the future be storing all of my bio mass. I'll probably make more tanks underneath of it because I'll just make an absolute insane amount of like biomass and stuff. These are the candles, and the reason why they're here is because of the shadow. Mobs cannot spawn on bedrock. They can't. They absolutely cannot spawn on bedrock. I know this for a fact, but I just did it, you know, just in case. In case some people decide to change it for some reason. This is useless jump test. Okay, so that's these things explained. The episode's pretty much already 50 minutes, and what I could actually do is just because I keep on making episodes like 30 minutes long, and it's really ridiculous. Let's see, this thing is slowly draining, but that's fine. Creating a lot of peat and a lot of bituminous peat. Burning peat right now just to get more ash. This thing keeps on going. Also, what I've prepared, which will actually like, this is currently making bog earth. Oh, right. What I will do right now is, oh, right. It only shows the mirage item. Okay, so you can see what resources you need and a glass pane, and this will make a APR's data bank, I believe. It takes quite a while to make. But what this does is, it will pretty much like register all the bees that you have, and what I really should do is I should put all of these bees into a APR's chest instead. Oh, right. Now what I have right now is I have industrious bees and I have imperial bees, which are pretty much the highest tier that you need, that's the minimum tier that you need to actually like start making alvearies, because the APRs are cool and all, but the alvearies are multi-block. They are 3x3x3, and you need to put half slabs on top to finish them off. And they are like customizable. For example, these only carry 3 proven frames, but you can make it like the alvearies. You can make them lots bigger, and you can upgrade them. And alvearies, just in general, can be really awesome. Okay, so so it got sucked out by this part. So whenever I hear, I right click on it, and I will see all of the bees that I have currently discovered. So let's see, branches. Apparently I'm still bee swatter. This is the amount of bees that I've had in total. This is the amount of drones that I had in total, I believe. The amount of princesses that I have in total, queens. So now I can see like this thing is fairly useful. For example, you can see like the base stats, which is normal the case. Bees. Effect. Beatific gives you a regen effect. So if you have imperial bees, also if you're running and you right click with this thing, it will crash your game. So if you're like la 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 la, right click, it crashes your game. So, or just walking in general. So imperial bees, they give the beatific effect. As you see, it will give me regeneration. But because there are 3 here, like they give me the regen effect every 6 seconds, and the regen effect lasts like 4 seconds. So like it absolutely spams it on you, which can actually in fact be fairly annoying. Now here you can actually see off with their heads. Well, so here you can see how you get these bees. Now I also have set it up right here. So what you first need to do is you need to get, actually I can show you this right here. Common bees, result mutation. So apparently I haven't discovered all the types of bees. Let's see, here we go. So for example, if you combine modest and tropical, you will get common. That's one of them. discovered species. But, well, pretty much every single, like pretty much, like if you combine like meadows and forest, and if you combine like meadows and marbled, pretty much every single bee that you get from a beehive, if you combine those two, you will get common. Now what you then need to do is you need to take one of these common bees and one of these standard bees, like meadows, forest, etc, etc. You need to combine common and one of those starter bees, and you'll get cultivated. Now there's a chance, so it might take a while. Now what you then need to do is you need to mix common and cultivated, and then you have a chance of either getting noble or diligent. Now you're gonna need both for this. So yeah, keep on breeding until you get like a stable supply of those, both. Then what you need to do is you need to combine diligent and cultivated, and you also need to combine the noble and the cultivated. If you combine diligent and cultivated, you get unwary drone or bees, and if you combine noble and cultivated, you'll get majestic. Now this takes a lot more time than you would actually think, because I've actually just, what I had to do with like crossbreeding these bees, I just had to like literally just I just stood here. I just turned the blaze spawner on. I stood here with my coin of fortune on, and I sucked up all the experience. And yeah, the blaze rods went to this chest and stuff. And I just turned the sound off, and I went to YouTube and just started watching videos, because I was literally just waiting for these bees to crossbreed. So, and for me, getting majestic and imperial bees is just really annoying. But you know, the soul frames help a lot. So anyway, so like diligent and cultivated will give you unwary, noble plus cultivated will give you majestic. What you then need to do is you need to get the diligent and unwary, and you'll get industrious after a while. And majestic and noble will give you imperial. Now, what these are good for, let's see, majestic, products, oh no wait, imperial. Now they'll give you dripping combs, which will give you honey, dew, and what imperial bees do is every so often they'll give you royal jelly, which you will need, and I'll show you soon what it does. And what these industrious give is they give you stringy comb, and pollen. And what you need that for is for alvearies, because these are actually all the resources, maybe not the pipettes, but these are literally all the resources that you need to make one alveary. So you need this much beeswax, this much pollen, this many royal jelly, you need these slabs. You can make them whatever type of slabs that you want, really. You need this much honey, you need this much seed, there's some seed oil in there. This is not important. You need these many planks, you need these many oak logs. So this is the exact amount of materials. This is the exact amount of materials that you need to make one alveary. Now it doesn't need to be capsule specifically, it can be any sort of can, so really. Let's see. But I'll show you that in the next episode. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I get. Now the pollen and stuff, they will literally, as they work, they will randomly give you a pollen, or yeah, see, pollen, whoop, and then it gets sucked out and put in air. The pollen, for my knowledge, aren't really good for a lot of other things. There are some things. Now, what these stringy combs will give you is they will give you propolis, which is good for the bitumen speed and for a few other items. And what these dripping combs will give you is yeah, they'll give you honeydew and honey drop. Now, these bees are actually, I believe, slower workers, and these are fast workers. So these produce, as you can see, a lot more pollen than these produce royal jelly, and also they produce a lot more combs. That's yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. See, I crashed because I was moving. If you move and then you right click on the thing, you crash. So I'll be right back with you. Alright, back again after I restarted this. Because seriously, if you walk and you open this thing, even if you walk a tiny little bit, you just instantly crash. So anyway, the Imperial, let's see, products. 1 every 5.1 minutes. Yeah, so this is pretty much the same. And like the working speed of them depends on how fast they actually produce it. Let's see, these are, I believe, fast workers, and these are not. I don't have any honey drops in here left. Give me that money. Okay, so these are normal workers, and these are... Oh. Alright, these are slower and these are normal. I believe I tried to keep the fast working in, but it didn't really work out, so too bad. Okay, so Imperial. I would recommend you to only like really once you get a steady supply, I would recommend you to only examine the queens if you need to show something, because if you examine the drones, then you can't actually put them back in the stack, because examined bees do not stack with non-examined bees. So, oh, whoa, near the price there or something. Thanks, Mike. So this episode is already getting a bit longer, so I'll end of this episode, and then I'll continue in the next episode showing all the things that I have right here. I also built some more bio things. Fun fact is these biogas engines, they only use lava when you turn them on to heat up. But once they are heated up, they will not use any lava at all, and they only use like a little bit. They don't even use like a full bucket, for my knowledge. So you don't actually need a lot of lava to keep these things running. Just to start them up, and once they're running, all you need to do is supply them with biomass, which is fairly easy with this setup. Despite it's turned off. But yeah, as you can see, like I'm producing a lot of compressed plants, so Jesus. But luckily I made this massive tank, so I'll store it in there. So yeah, I'll just place like a pipe towards there, and then I'll start the next episode. So yeah, this is dragoninahuman. I hope you've learned something from this. You know, from like the bees that I just explained, and from the preformatter, and yeah, and the sidecraft tanks. So I hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, again, I hope you've learned something from this. If you did either of those, you know, a like would be appreciated. If you like the videos and the commentaries in general and stuff, you know, subscribing won't hurt, because whenever I upload something, you'll be notified of it right away. So this is dragoninahuman. I hope you enjoyed, and I bid you all farewell. Goodbye.